In today's news, Collins alleges ongoing campaign to discredit him. Statutory board heads benefit from gender focal point meeting. Ralph T. O'Neill, OBE, to be honored with commemorative bust at BVI London office. The Deputy Premier establishes a minimum wage committee. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production.
Get ready for an electrifying football showdown. It's the CONCACAF Nations League, and it's coming to the British Virgin Islands. BVI takes on Dominica on November 16th, 2023 at the A.O. Shirley Recreation Ground. This is a match you won't want to miss. The action kicks off at 3 p.m., and we've got a fantastic offer for you. Tickets are just $10 for adults and free entry for primary and high school students. Ticket outlets: the BVI Football Association, CCT, 284 Media, Hazim's Beauty Supply, Mr. Nice Guy Virgin Gorda, and Speedy's Ferry Services Virgin Gorda. Don't miss your chance to witness the thrilling action as BVI takes on Dominica in the CONCACAF Nations League. Remember, it's happening on November 16, 2023 at the A.O. Shirley Recreation Ground at 3 p.m. It's going to be epic.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Friday's wish to each and everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast on the local scene, Police Commissioner Mark Collins has made allegations of an ongoing campaign by fractions of the local press aimed at discrediting him in his role. Now, this statement was made in response to a direct question posed to him, and I quote, "Do you have an ongoing war with the media?" during a recent appearance on Tola Radio.
I don't think there's an ongoing war. I think there's clearly an ongoing campaign to discredit me as the police commissioner. Mm-hmm. And there's been some other items in the news recently as well, which are completely, not factual.
When asked why such a campaign would exist, Collins suggested that the question should be posed to the persons carrying out, referring to those responsible for the articles he believes are aimed at discrediting him. Despite this, Collins said he remains undeterred and committed to his role. He emphasized his determination to continue delivering on his mandate as police commissioner, irrespective of any detractors.
Well, I think you'd have to ask them that, not me. Okay. I came here as the police commissioner nearly 3 years ago to do a good job. You've mentioned corruption in the force. I've tried to root out some of that corruption, and I maintain that I want to hold to higher standards.
And do you feel you've been doing that?
Well, I think we've taken a firm hand in terms of those persons that don't meet the required standard to be police officers and fall below that standard. And where necessary, we've interdicted officers and we've charged officers and we'll put them before the court.
Collins also expressed his belief that public confidence in the police force has increased since he assumed office. He noted that there has been noticeable improvements in public's willingness to cooperate with the police force under his leadership. However, he was also quick to acknowledge that there is still room for improvement.
And I think when I came here nearly 3 years ago, there was a loss of confidence in policing. And I'm not saying we're where we need to be now, but I think we are seeing an increase in confidence. And I want to see that because of the way that we're dealing with some of the officers that we've interdicted. And the public can see that I've taken a firm hand in managing the organisation and the workforce. So I hope they have got more confidence to come forward. And the litmus test for me is I am seeing more and more people coming forward and giving us information.
Over a year has passed since the tragic boat accident that claimed the life of businesswoman Crystal Black and a 6-year-old girl, and the victims' families are still seeking answers. This week, a man identified himself as the father of Black's young son called into Tola Radio to express his frustration and demand answers from Commissioner of Police Mark Collins surrounding the lack of progress in the police investigation. The caller criticized the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force for their failure to communicate with the Black family and apparent lack of advancement in the case. He lamented that the family has yet to receive an accident report more than a year after the incident.
I spoke to you about a couple months ago regarding a situation with the accident on October 2nd, 2022 regarding Crystal Black and the 7-year-old young lady. And this is about a year and she is gone and I ain't hear nothing. The captain of the boat living his best life, and my son lost a mother and nothing ain't come out of it. And I was so glad I hear you on the radio this morning. So let me call you and ask you why I didn't get with this situation.
Well,
I actually been holding it on. I've been patient with it for a long, long time. And I want to do something about it. Check. The police ain't giving us a report. And how long it take the police to give me an accident report on an accident what happened a year ago?
Well, first,
how long did it take? Like, Rita, I try to cut you off. When I'm speaking out of frustration, and I ain't towards you. It was the whole situation. Cause it been built up inside me for a long time. Trust me.
The man also expressed growing frustration over the situation, feeling that the family is being kept in the dark and no action is being taken to address what many perceive as obvious wrongdoings related to the case. In response to the caller's concerns, Police Commissioner Mark Collins provided a limited update on the case, reiterating that the matter remains under investigation.
And we did take this matter extremely seriously. Of course, it's the loss of 2 lives. So serious that we've had experts out from the UK to examine our investigation and to look at parts on the boat. I'm not going to go into details because it's an ongoing investigation and it would be wrong for me to do so. But the matter is completely under investigation. These things, unfortunately, do take some time. And the matter is with the coroner and also with it'll be with the DPP's office if the file hasn't already been submitted. So the matter has been taken most seriously, and we've had experts looking at the case and overseeing our own accident investigation.
The fatal accident occurred near Little Tatch Island on Sunday, October 2nd, 2023. A 30-foot-plus powerboat carrying 10 people capsized around 7 p.m. while crossing between Joss Van Dyke and West End. 7 survivors were taken to the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital, where a 6-year-old girl was pronounced dead on arrival. Black was reported missing shortly after the incident and was confirmed dead when her body was recovered days later. Viewers, up next, we have more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. You're watching 284 News.
Is someone gonna get that?
Hello.
Hello. So nice of you to have cleaned up for us. Hi, baby.
We're like in-laws that don't show up unannounced.
Don't worry, I've got this.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
Is that my lunch? Is that my lunch?
We're like the coworker that doesn't eat your lunch.
I'm John. I'm John.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Listen.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. The late Honorable Ralph T. O'Neill, OBE, is set to be honored at the BVI London office on Monday with a commemorative bust as part of the 21st anniversary celebrations since the opening of the office. Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley made the announcement at a press conference on Thursday. Wheatley said the plan is to honor the territory's first premier and commenced over a year ago to pay homage to the visionary for his role in establishing the BVI London office in 2002.
While in London, we will honor the late former Premier, Honorable Ralph T. O'Neill, at a reception at BVI House. Over the past year, the London office embarked on a journey of reflection and appreciation, culminating in the final event, the highlight of which will be the unveiling of a commemorative bust in honor of the first Premier of the Virgin Islands, the Honorable Ralph T. O'Neill, OBE. As you know, it was under his leadership that BVI House was purchased, and of course the Deputy Premier was the one who actually picked the building, which has served as the location at the BVI London office since its inception. The two are inseparable. Honorable O'Neill's vision of the Virgin Islands representing itself in the UK, Europe, and beyond via our own representative office has been fully realized. He is worthy of recognition in light of the 20th anniversary of the BVI London office.
Also providing details on the celebrations in store for the late Premier was Deputy Premier and Minister for Financial Services, Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Lorna Smith, OBE. Smith was the first director of the BVI London office, and she said the honor is fitting for the late O'Neill, whose decision to establish a BVI London office continues to benefit the entire territory.
I think it certainly is very fitting that Mr. O'Neill, the late Mr. O'Neill, be recognized in this fashion. He was a visionary in the sense that he understood the importance of, if you want to call it, direct representation and representation in London. Owning the building means that we not only own the building so that we can accommodate our offices, but it was also a revenue earner, and it is a revenue earner because we have at least one of the 4 floors is rented to the private sector. So it is, as I've said before, it is very fitting that he be recognized. The office, of course, is a kind of a launch pad, if you want to call it that, because it's not just used for offices in London itself, but it is also used for going further into Europe, the European Union.
The late O'Neill, who hails from Virgin Gorda, passed away at the age of 85 in November of 2019. He is the longest-serving elected representative in the British Virgin Islands after serving more than 40 years since first being elected in 1975. In addition to serving as Premier, he also served as the Minister for Finance and Economic Development, Minister for Social Services, and the Minister for Natural Resources and Labor. He initially represented the sister islands of Virgin Gorda as the 9th District Representative until he was changed to the 9th District Representative, which also included Anegada. The Ministry for Financial Services, Labor and Trade has announced the establishment of an ad hoc advisory committee to review the minimum wage. The Honorable Lorna Smith, OBE, during a recent press conference, addressed the public on the newly formed committee and their role in reviewing and advising on the minimum wage in the Virgin Islands.
I am happy to announce that the Ministry of Financial Services, Labor and Trade has established an ad hoc advisory committee to review the minimum wage in the Virgin Islands. As we are all aware, the minimum wage in the Virgin Islands was last increased in October of 2016 from $4 per hour to $6 per hour. A 2022 review of social assistance in the Virgin Islands by the Social Policy Research Institute observed that the minimum wage is well below what is needed to survive in the territory. The researchers cautioned, however, that the rate by which the minimum wage can be adjusted must take into account economic factors and constraints. As I have been pondering the best way forward, I have determined that the most effective approach is to establish an advisory committee to undertake a review of what the most appropriate level of the minimum wage should be. The government is conscious of the many economic challenges the people of the BVI are currently facing. We must all put our shoulder to the wheel, government, employers, and employees, to ensure that the individuals on low incomes do not bear a greater share of the burden than they should.
With this in mind, the Deputy Premier and Minister for Financial Services, Labor and Trade said she believes this is the best way forward.
The review will be comprehensive, transparent, and involve the expertise of a diverse range of stakeholders to ensure inclusive participation and perspective. Importantly, the ad hoc committee will report by the end of March 2024. The Minimum Wage Advisory Committee is being established in accordance with Part 3 of the Virgin Islands Labor Code of 2010. The Advisory Committee will comprise of representatives from a diverse range of sectors, including our key economic sectors such as construction, tourism, and of course financial services, and will include employers, employees, sister island representatives, and young people. The committee will have access to technical support from our economists, our statisticians, financial analysts, and other government officials, as well as our development partners. This expertise will support the committee in assessing and analyzing complex data, develop and evaluating policy options, and will help them to make informed recommendations. The committee is expected to complete its review and submit its final report to me as the subject minister within 4 months of its inaugural meeting, which is scheduled for later this month, towards the end of this month.
The formation of the committee, she said, is in accordance with Part 3 of the Virgin Islands Labor Code 2010.
It is important to note that the review of the minimum wage is only one part of a wider assessment by the government of how we can address the cost of living across the Virgin Islands. We know our people need to be better supported, and I expect to make further announcements on this in the near future.
Some 14 members will serve on the ad hoc committee, and the Deputy Premier thanked them for their time and service. Viewers, up next, we have more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
This November, the sun rises on the northernmost island of the Virgin Islands and shines over an unforgettable 3-day experience. The Caribbean's most anticipated food festival, the Anegada Lobster Festival. The 24th to the 26th of November, the island's best restaurants present their best lobster dishes and other delicacies while you and 3,000 of your closest friends soak up the sun. Enjoy music from top bands, seaside activities, and win awesome prizes. There's nothing quite like the Anegada Lobster Festival. The 24th to the 26th of November. Book a room or catch a boat and be there. You'll see it's the taste and fun you need.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Continuing on, implementing gender focal points in every statutory body and commission is one of the most effective ways of achieving gender equality and equity and empowerment of women within the territory. This is the belief of the Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, Minister for Health and Social Development. More on this report.
Wheatley was at the time addressing a gender focal points meeting with heads and representatives of the various statutory boards and commissions organized by the Office of Gender Affairs. Honorable Wheatley said, and I quote, "One of the main objectives of having gender focal points within these sectors is to help us identify gender issues in the workplace and bring them to the attention of the Human Resources Department and the Office of Gender Affairs." The meeting served as a starting point for statutory boards and bodies to identify and nominate suitable staff members to serve as the gender focal points. The persons chosen are expected to play a significant role in achieving a gender perspective in the various commissions and statutory boards. Wheatley said, "This perspective will assist in ensuring that equal opportunities, the reduction of discriminatory practices, and the implementation of proper gender-related policies are addressed. If done correctly, we can join other regional countries and international bodies in promoting gender equality and equity." The meeting was facilitated by the Gender Affairs Coordinator, Ms. Patricia Hackett, and focused on promoting gender equity and equality through a multi-sectoral approach. Ms. Hackett said, and I quote, "The stakeholders meeting was important to start the gender and development conversation in every sector, as the Office of Gender Affairs seeks to partner with key stakeholders to incorporate a gender perspective in their programs and projects known as gender mainstreaming. This will eliminate gender inequalities and equities in the workplace by the extension of the territory." The session followed a gender focal point workshop held last week for public service workers who were selected as gender focal points for their respective organizations and departments. Gender focal points are said to be change agents designed within an institution or organization to monitor and stimulate greater consideration of gender equality issues in daily operations. The Ministry of Health said they, through the Office of Gender Affairs, hope to achieve goals as it relates to gender equity and equality as outlined in the Virgin Islands National Sustainable Development Plan, Vision 2036. Under this plan, a large focus is being placed on gender mainstreaming to promote the economic, social, cultural, and political empowerment of women towards advancing gender equity. Vision 2036 also acknowledges that the national policy for gender equity and equality remains a priority, with the focus on the elimination of gender inequalities such as gender-based violence in all forms.
Sugar Boys FC pulled off a 4-1 victory against Rebels FC last Sunday to regain the lead in the BVI Football Association's National Football League standings. Playing at the Virgin Gorda Recreation Ground, Rebels FC grabbed a 1-goal lead on the stroke of halftime, thanks to Mario Carter. However, the lead was short-lived as Sugar Boys found the equalizer at the penalty spot in the 47th minute at the boot of McGraw-Baptiste. Alejandro Sanchez then put the boys ahead a minute later, and Redhead wrapped up points with a brace in the 61st and 71st minutes. Now, the win put Sugar Bowl 1 point ahead of the Panthers FC and VG United, who are in second and third places respectively on 6 points. Over at Greenland and East End, the Panthers recorded a back-to-back win when they hit Old Madrid for 6 before letting their opponents score twice on to lessen the blow of a 6-2 rout. Delon Liverpool scored a hat-trick with goals in the 41st, 44th, and 66th minutes, whilst Preville Anson netted twice in the 48th and 69th, and Rickson Augustine added his name to the score sheet in the 49th inning. Chibos Akuma and Jeffrey Smith scored the late consolation goals for Old Madrid. 284 provided coverage of that game. Here's a look at the highlights.
City ongoing Skinny. Skinny push it inside, finding number 25 going back to Nano. Nano with a shot from way out. Oh my goodness, comes off the crossbar. Good shot here from Nano. Couldn't keep it down. Nice shot from good range, just outside the 18-yard box on the right side. As number 14, feeding number 10, taking it down the flank. Take a shot from way out. This one could be trouble. It's a goal! 2 as they found themselves the old Madrid into it. The ball up inside. Let's see who could get there. Danny Brady in attendance. But can't get there. The number 10 player again from Red goal! He's in the back of the net once more. My goodness, he's polishing his boots. As this man, the number 10, he was started on the left flank. They switch him, but building up nicely, getting up to number 14. Number 14 nicely pushed inside, finding Alice. This one could be trouble again. Twin comes out. Heavy tackle. Good one. As he blocked it and get it back, but push it back wrong. As oh my goodness, number 22 couldn't get it for dropped around it. Trying to get some pace, and it Twin was nowhere in goal. And the ball just slide off his boots and going up to the keeper, who just stopped. That's Bascom. Get it out of the danger zone, and the ball down with Alice. Alice being guarded by the substitution, but regain. Alice still in control. Take a shot. It's in the back of the. It's a goal. It says May is in the middle, and Alice adding to their total. Now it's 3 goals to 0. Pushing it, losing it to number 10. Number 10 pushes down, finding Alice. Alice down, pushing it down the flank. Number 10, the goal scorer, who's tearing down the right flank, taking it to the old Madrid again and pass it inside. Number 14 comes across Christmas. The goal as the Twin comes out and the ball is in the back of the net. Good playing here as the goalkeeper comes out, but the striker roll it out to number 10, Silk. Number 10 being guarded by number 10. Now this one could be trouble and problems going around the keeper, and it's back of the net once more. It's a goal. Number 10 having a hat trick here this evening. 3 goals he scored. Signing Christmas to the ball for Panthers. Panthers building up again, trying to get inside. Number 4 nicely out to number 10. Number 10 down on the right flank. The goal scorer, hat-trick man, turns, get around 1 player. Nicely get around 2 player. Could be trouble. Inside. Shot comes in and it's in the back of the net once more. It's a goal. Nice building up here by number 10 and number 16. Good going here by the Panthers team. The whole Madrid, they are really dreaded here this evening. It's 6 goals. Nano loses it. Prudent loses it to Nano. Nano still taking it to the Islanders. Nice ball inside. Let's see if number 13 can finish. Yes, he can. It's a goal. So all Madrid is on the list. They are in the scoring column. Nice building up here from number 20. Oh, Nano is in attendance. Pruden is here as well. Let's see, Pruden gets there. Nano take it away from him, and Nano going to the danger zone. Nano have 1 man to beat. Nano, we know what he's capable of. Oh my goodness. Pushed across, finding number 25. Number 25 with a shot from way out. Can't get it on target. Yeah. 6-7 years ago, we know what Nano. 6 goals to 1. Real Madrid trailing. Nice ball come inside. Nano losing his footing in the process, and a whistle on the play, says May, and it's seen as with a penalty. Nano is on the floor as he found himself between 4 players, trying to get the ball inside the goal, being pulled. 24, the Rastaman. As he go in. Take the shot, and oh my goodness, the keeper going the other way. It's a goal!
Meanwhile, in the opening game of the weekend, Wolves FC hit Positive FC for double digits in a 10-0 victory. Of course, Hugo Costa Liverazzo also scored a hat-trick. James Malley and Phil Nelson both scored twice, whilst Leo Forte, Gethin Jones, and Marcus Robinson also found the back of the net. Also, Islanders and One Love shared a 6-goal thriller and the points in a 3-3 draw. Games continue, of course, this weekend at the Greenland Football Field in East End. On Saturday, November 11th, Panthers FC will face Islanders FC at 6 p.m., while on Sunday, November 12th, One Love FC will play Sugar Boys FC at 6 p.m., followed by Lion Heat FC versus Positive FC at 8:30 p.m., and Sunday's game will be streamed on CCT Live's channel 284 Media. Viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com. And of course, like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. I'll see you again on Monday. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Happy Friday. Goodbye.